Coming up right now, an interview with The Damned. That's Suicide by The Damned on PIX 102. I'm John Ogle, and I'm sitting here with Rat Scabies, one member of The Damned. Is it true that The Damned and the Sex Pistols were the first punk bands?
Yeah. What
year was that?
76, early 76.
What gave you the idea? I mean, how did you decide that you were going to do something that everybody else wasn't doing at the time?
Well, I got bored with what was going on. You know, there's all really horrible groups that are just monotonous and uninteresting, like groups you would never heard of over here, sort of meal ticket and things like that. And you know, you just get frustrated at it all, and you know, and then I found Brian, and he played sort of loud, noisy, nasty guitar and that, and Dave looked so great, and the captain is like the captain. So
the band has been described as outrageous, and that was one of the kinder descriptions. And I understand that the English press have been giving you a fit about, are you serious about music, or are you just clowns, you know, out there to have a good time and perform?
Well, I think what does that is that you got the captain, right, he's not all there, right, a few marbles are definitely missing. And he sort of rolls about in these furry gorilla suits of sort of bright pink and blue and that. And as he's sort of playing guitar, he's a bit more up front now. But I mean, Dave's still serious. I'm always serious about my music, like, you know. And Al's the new boy and that, and you know, he's playing along and he's fitting in and everything, you know. And I think it's only the captain that people tend to look at him more than anything else. But I mean,
but that's the way he really is.
Yeah, right.
I mean, given the chance, would he wear those gorilla suits on the street?
He does.
The band, The Damned, actually broke up at one point. The band just sort of stopped?
Well, what happened was we did, when we did our first tour over here, that was in 77, I think, that was great, and then we went off and toured Europe, and then the record company, Stiff, one of us said, well, we've got to have a new album, and Brian just wasn't writing the songs, you know, that I liked, so I decided to leave in the middle of this European tour, let them down a bit, and you know, it was generally because the songs weren't being written, and I think some of the energy that started in the first... I think we got too lazy, right? And all of a sudden we had wages every week, and, you know, there was, like, plenty of booze and, you know what I mean, the whole routine of people taking you home rather than going home on the bus and that. And I think you just you just let things go, and then.
Do you think that's what happened to rock and roll in the first place? That's how it
All started.
How it got so boring.
So it's terrible because we found ourselves that we were doing exactly what the people we were fighting against, if you like. It was just a whole silly thing, and now we're hungry again, so we're back up again.
The band reformed right away, though, didn't it?
It was about a year off. I was working with a guy called Kelvin Coney. He used to be the singer in Tough Darts for a while. And I formed a group called the White Cats, and that was a real disaster. And then Captain had a group called King, and he just rang me up one day and said, look, it's not happening with my band, and well, how's it going with you? Like, so we sort of decided to get together.
Well, you didn't call it the Damned, though, at first.
No, we called it the
Doomed.
Doomed.
Right.
Because it was only an experiment. We really weren't sure whether we were going to stay together. It was just like, we can go in and make a couple of quid at this one gig we'd been offered. So we asked Dave if he'd do it, and me and Captain were going to work together anyway. We got this bass player in and everything, and the first one we did was with a guy called Lemmy out of Motorhead. And then we blurbed about and messed around up and down in the Cosmic Whirly-Jig, like. What's
the lineup in the band now? Who's doing what?
Captain Sensible's playing lead guitar, Dave Vanian's singing, me, Rat Scabies, me. I'm the drummer still, and we got a guy called Alistair Ward on bass who was in the Saints.
And this is the band that has recorded the new album and is touring now in America.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think that success in America could spoil the Damned again? Do you think that
Not again. You never once bitten, twice shy, right? You get used to those mistakes. I've got some money now, I'm not loaded, right? But I've got enough money to pay the rent for 2 months in advance, sort of thing. And I'll just spend all mine as quickly as I possibly can, so I don't fall into it.
Do you think that the punk movement has been homogenized now? Do you think there's a lot of imitation going on?
Imitation? Yeah. Well, there's punk and new wave, right? As I term it, and.
What's the difference?
Well, I personally think new wave are bands like the Police, that are sort of young kids who got bored with it again, and then they sort, they're just coming up with their own thing, but it hasn't got all the aggression and the frustration that was there in the first place with us.
What started the whole punk music thing, as far as you were concerned? I mean, outside of the fact that the music had gotten boring, was it a social statement? Was it something that was going on?
Well, it was everything, wasn't it? I mean, I don't like talking about social statements anyway, because they always tend to be, I don't want to preach to anyone. You get politics 24 hours a day, right? The last thing I want to do is start and say, you should do this and you should do that, because if Bob Dylan and Led Zeppelin couldn't change the world, I'm pretty sure I can't. And it just happened like that. There was nothing contrived about it. I mean, Malcolm McLaren might say differently, but...
It's strictly the making that music.
Yeah.
Aggressive, hard,
Yeah, well, the thing is, right, I used to be a bit of a naughty boy when I was young, and that, go out nicking and getting into fights and all that sort of routine. And you realise, when you walk out of the courtroom and the magistrate's just said, you're very, very lucky, you nearly went to prison. So now I just realise that the way to get rid of all that aggression and all that thing was to play. And I'd rather smash a drum kit up than a person, because you can buy a new drum kit and you can't buy a new face.
Who's writing now in the Damned, now that Brian has disappeared?
Well, me and Captain, really. I wrote the words to Love Song, and Captain wrote the music, and I did all of Suicide, and also I did the words of Noise, 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 and he did the music. I mean, we're splitting it. It's basically me and him at the moment, because Dave's still working it out, because there's a few surprises in what he's doing,
Is that going to broaden? Do you think the other guys in the band will start writing too?
Oh yeah, they're all writing now. I mean, there's no shortage of songs. We're churning them out.
Let's listen to Noise, Noise, Noise from the Damned.
Record when the volume are too loud. Have a couple drinks of pool, argue with my drunken fool. Have a beer with the usual crowd. We say, noise is for heroes, heroes. Well, leave the music for zeros, zeros. Noise, noise, noise is for heroes, heroes. Oh, yeah. And it's noise that makes the world go round. Can't survive without the sound. The sound torments me. It's 8 o'clock down the church hall. I'm the band, look at 6 feet tall. Gonna turn them up full blast. The vicar waves his arms and looks absurd. The nurse drowns out his godly words till he can't get out too fast. When we say, noise is for heroes, heroes. Leave the music for zeros, zeros. Noise, noise, noise is for heroes, heroes. Ah, yeah. Noise, noise, noise. 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 Noise, noise, noise.
That's Noise, Noise, Noise on PIX 102. It's from The Damned, and it's on the new album.
We think so.
Yeah? Will the song be on the new album?
Yeah, the song will. It's a new version of it and everything. You know, because like I said before, when we went in and we did Suicide, Noise, 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 we didn't really know them. And it was just like, we just learnt them in the studio and played them in an afternoon. And now, of course, you know, like you play it more on the road and you get used to it and you set in, so now we play it much better than we did on the single, so we thought we better put it out on the album.
Did you tour England before you came over?
We just finished a coast to coast in England, a 300-mile round trip round the lighthouse. So yeah, it went really well. I mean, because I don't know if you know, Avery, I mean, but the single was a bit of a hit record and all that sort of junk. You know, got into the top 20.
In the whole country or in just
the
specific?
whole country. Yeah.
Yeah?
In like the big proper the BBC charts.
Oh.
And so consequently we went out and we did some bigger gigs, because usually we play clubs and stuff anyway, because it's, you know, I'd rather do 4 nights at one really small club than one night at a 3,000 seaters.
Where is the band really based? In London?
There's a wonderful place in Surrey called Croydon. It's about 8 miles out of London. It's near Streatham.
And that's where the band is?
Yeah.
And the reaction to the tour then was...
It was really crazy. It's like, there's one... You know, we were actually sort of getting mobbed and stuff by these sort of 14-year-old punks and things.
How about your old fans? Were they still there?
Yeah, the old faithfuls are there, you know, the ones that used to be at all the gigs before anyway. But I think we've picked up so many on the way. There's hundreds of little buggers there.
And do you think that same thing is going to happen in America now? Have you... The last time you were here, I mean, you toured America before.
Yeah, we did. I think we did.
The reaction
quite
was...
well.
Yeah.
You know, it all depends.
I should explain that we're taping this on Thursday to be on the radio Sunday, so the band have already played one gig in New York. That was on Friday night at the Showplace in Dover, New Jersey. And they're going to play, however, tomorrow night and Tuesday night, Monday and Tuesday night at Hurrah. So if you want to catch the Damned, you can do it those 2 nights.
Yeah.
What label is the new record going to be on?
Well, we haven't got an American label yet. They still don't like us much, I don't think. Well, I don't know. We might, like, as it's pre-recorded show and everything, by next week we might have a deal, but today we haven't. And it'll probably just be available on import on good old Chiswick.
Chiswick, not Stiff.
No.
What happened with Stiff? I mean, Stiff
Well, I
is
dunno.
supposed to be so hip.
I thought, yeah, they were, and they were great, and we used to do everything they told them, and let us look after your money, boys. And they did, and I think it sort of helped to pay for Elvis Costello and me and Drury to be launched, because Graham Parker and the Rumour paid for us to be launched. Right, but before they had a chance to, me and Drury and Co had a chance to pay us back, we were dumped off the label. Well, they were dumped off the label.
These things are still going on with the record companies.
Yeah, right. Well, at the moment we got the Musicians Union suing Stiff Records for our money. So they never ever paid us, right, and we sold a lot of records. You know, and like, they just never sort of said, here's your checks, lads. And now they reckon that we owe them a lot of money, so it's one of those sort of situations.
Maybe by the time you're ready to retire, you'll have settled it all and collected something.
Yeah, I won't ever retire.
The laws being what they are.
I won't ever retire.
After the American tour now, which I guess you're doing perhaps to attract a label, which should probably make for some pretty interesting concerts, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if everybody's working that hard, it usually makes it that much better for the fans. If,
Well, the thing is, we go out, the fans, I mean, I hate that word, the fans, it sounds really condescending. It's like, people say, the kids at the gig, you know what I mean?
the followers?
The followers, yeah, the people that come to have fun, I'd rather call it. Because it's, you know, there's this big thing about we're the group and you're the audience. Yeah, we're the group and everyone knows it, and they're the audience and they all know it, right?
Well,
so
what should we
rub it down
call them
its throats?
instead of fans or audience? I mean, audience is real impersonal. It's just the people that were there.
Well, in England, they're called punters.
The punters.
The punters.
Drive back 15 and punt. Is that the same sort of thing?
No, they're just the ones that pay to get in. That's why I'm hoping that people will listen to the album, right? Because that is actually musical. It's not us on stage. Right, I think an album you ought to be able to listen to, and you go to see a group, and you ought to be able to go and see something.
Once you finish the tour here, you go back to England and try and get
Then
them.
we do. We finish the album off.
It isn't completely finished yet.
Not
then.
completely, no.
Yeah. How do you feel about live albums, man?
I like them at the moment, like Cheap Trick Live.
Yeah.
It's my favourite
I mean, would you
album.
like to do, if you get a good tape off this tour, would you
Oh yeah.
consider putting a...
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. I really like live stuff, like Thin Lizzy live and Cheap Trick. I prefer live albums anyway to anything, because it's got more of an atmosphere, you know, and you can actually feel the energy that's there for that particular song rather than it just being plink, plink, plunk, you know.
Especially if it's really a good recording of a really good gig where they don't have to track anything in.
Yeah, right.
Because so many albums are... Rick Nielsen insists that the Budokan album has no extra tracking of any kind.
Well, it's the
Cheap Trick
mix
one.
then that's really clever on that. I don't know, it's funny, you can't tell, can you? Really.
I guess even the Damned get asked what they want the single to be. When the record company gets the album together, do they ask you or do they tell you?
What do you mean?
Do they say, this is going to be the single, or do they say, what do you want the single to be?
No, never. No one ever tells us what to do. Because we're really lucky because Chiswick Records is run by two geezers, right? It's a really small label, you know, but it's distributed through EMI, which means that we got all the advantages of being on a small label and all the advantages of being on a big one. And we just sit down and discuss what we're going to do next and what... I mean, just because you're in a group, right, you're not geniuses and you don't know what is going to be a good single. So I like to hear other people's opinions, you know, like with
Yeah, you're
this.
so close to it.
Yeah, you know, like Love Song, I wrote half of it, right? How on earth can I say, yeah, that's a great single, put it out? I mean, you have to listen to other people's opinions. And
So the choice on this album is Love Song. Or at least it's the single that's out now.
yeah.
Will it be on the album?
Well, I've been told it will be, but I'm fighting that one at the moment.
Here's Love Song from The Damned. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you tomorrow night at a rock.
Yeah.